So I bought these sheep clear clippers on Amazon. So this is what you get. You get a case, the clippers, a charger, 2 batteries. The worst thing is actually the charger, which is not very powerful. So if you were someone who wanted to kind of clip all day, you might need to try and find an alternative method of charging them. Or just buy 2 of them and have 4 batteries, because the rate of speed of charge will be quite slow. And yep, so there's various different options: red, green. I think the green one's maybe better. I can see the comb is a bit bigger, maybe, I don't know, but I've got this red one for 60 quid on Prime, which is pretty good. I've yet to try and find out what spare combs. It looks like there might be some comb options there, because obviously it doesn't come with a spare comb. And it's got pretty good reviews. Pretty good. 4.5 out of 4, really. Let's have a look at my little Xmas gift to myself. Joking. I've actually got a lithium iron brushless clippers. It's actually the cheapest clippers on Amazon. So I thought I would do. This is actually how it arrived. It didn't come in a box, so it actually just comes. That's how it is. But I thought I'd do a little unboxing. It looks fairly decent reviews. And what do you expect for the money? This is not something that you can clip 100 sheep with in one day, but I'm hoping it might be something that I can basically prepare the sheep for market. So they just need a little dagging out, it's called, a little clip around basically their bum to make all the poo areas clean, and their belly. And if you can do that, you can save about £1 a sheep. So 55 sheep, and you've actually made the money back. But right, so let's look at what we get. So opening up, obviously you've got the instructions, which I'll never read because I'm a man. And then it looks like we've got 2 batteries. So the batteries themselves don't actually have, just as extra long duration of imported core, 20 volts. It doesn't actually say lithium ion on the battery. It does on the box, but not the battery. They do feel pretty weighty, so they've either got the genuine stuff in them, or they've got weights in them. So I guess we'll actually find out when we do some running and testing. And you've got 2 there, 2 batteries. You've got a charger, quite an odd charger, because considering you've got these batteries, you'd think you'd have like a proper thing for them to go on, but you've got this tiny charger which is actually only outputting 2 amps. So in other words, to charge these batteries, if they are actually 4 amp hour batteries, so you've got 21 volts at 2 amps, so it'll take you roughly 4 hours, is that it will take you a lot of hours to charge the batteries to full. 2 amp charger isn't very high, but that's okay. So here's the actual device. Here we go, which is actually quite beefy. Here we go. This is what we've got. This is actually quite nice. So it's quite a weighty device. Yep, so actually quite a weighty device. So I think this is for tightening. Yep, tightening and loosening. I've actually never sheared, but well, I have sheared before in my life. I could probably put a little clip of me shearing. I did a terrible job. So this is hopefully be a nice way for me to practice shearing in general. So I'm not sure, but I think this is the tightening and loosening of the basically the scissors, the 2, the top and the bottom comb. But who knows? And then this little button apparently is this. I don't know if it cycles through the different speeds, because I'm aware that there's different speeds. Let's just plug it in and have a little badge. See if we slot you in there. Right, oh, just to go through the other things you actually get a little tightening key. So I think this is for the blaze, just to tighten it up. So you only actually get one comb. There's no spare teeth. There's no, so I'm gonna have to try and find some spare cutting teeth for this, because inevitably it'll be dropped or damaged, and I'll need to have more. I guess that's some kind of cleaning brush, maybe. I don't know. And then this will be some kind of oiler, so you to apply some oil. So yeah, let's plug it in and see what happens, I guess. It's like almost like just one press does nothing. Looks absolutely lethal. But anyways, there we go. I guess the next clip for this will be in use. I'll grab a sheep and we'll see how it holds up in the field. Happy Christmas. So these are the lambs the next draw for market. So all these lambs are fat and healthy. Obviously there's some that's better than others, but they're good enough. They're tup lambs, so they're hard to get fat. So the moment they meet criteria, really, just to get them gone and slaughtered is what you want, because they're really hard to get fat. Now the last time I did this is actually 17, I think. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 to go. So I'll put a reserve of 110 on these again, just like last time, and they should make that. I reckon they'll probably average out at 125. That's what I think. So yeah, but the last time I did this, I sent ewes, and basically I found out that they have a levy for not a levy, a charge for basically clipping the ewes, clipping the lambs bellies and a bit around the backside. So I'm just going to do it today with this machine. Now it's 60p a lamb, so just for these lambs, I sell 150, I think it was 80p a lamb actually, 150 lambs. It's this machine, which was like 50 quid, will pay for itself in one season. So I've done a video unboxing this, which I'll add on to this one. This is kind of basically a field test. So I'm going to stick it together with two hands, and then we'll give it a test. Not very good conditions today. The wool's damp, but hey, this is what most outdoor farmers are going to be actually using. I don't have a shed to stick lambs in easily, anyways. That's not kitted out to put lambs in yet, to dry them off. But that would be ideal, is kind of a shed to put lambs in just for the last week. Just to trim them and keep the wool dry, to make them clean, all that kind of stuff. But I don't have that. You see, they jump up on each other and they dirty each other. Anyways, nice clean lambs is hard to provide. I'll see if I can get a video of me doing this ewe. Well, you caught some of that. But there you go. It just makes the back end look very clean, basically. That's all it does. I'll need to do the belly as well, but that doesn't need done really, that easy care. It had hardly any wool, but it just shows you, versus that's undone. So that's what the meat trade want. It's just a nice clean bump. Whether these will dirty themselves and need done again, I don't know. Anyways, there we go. All a bit of an experiment. To get in is the hardest thing, just to get started. I mean, I need two hands, but to get in is the hardest thing, to basically get cut into the wool. So it might just be, I think, confidence is the thing, but I'm just going to give it a bash, two hands. But there you go, you can give a little clip of what it's like. There you go, she's been used. She's finally properly a farm implement. It's got mud on it now. But quite pleased with how that went. It basically used one and a tiny bit of the second battery. So it's quite good. It has two batteries. Otherwise I would have run out on the last 4 ewes. Bellies clipped, back ends clipped. These textile things are hard to clip. The blackie was the easiest. and the easy cares didn't really need done, but I've done them all. There you go, going out to the field. The yellows are easy cares, greens are to sell separately. They don't quite match with anything. And reds are Texel crosses. These two Texel crosses are quite large, you can go together. Fetch the best price probably. There you go, we'll see what they do on Thursday, which is in 3 days' time. This guy, I've never seen this before, but someone who's got a tractor and is towing a trailer with a quad in it. Obviously just tows it along the road to work his sheep, but surely that's not a legal rig. 2 trailers! Give me an egg. Here's what I've got today. The mart. Come on. There you go. Nice little pen. 17. Mostly easy cares. It definitely makes you a bit nervous when you don't have to queue to drop your lambs off. Lady was saying that it's the trade's a bit down, so it's certainly a bit quieter. But anyways, they're here, so they ain't coming back home. And I'll put a reserve in, which might mean I might not get as good a price, but I'll at least get the reserve, hopefully. And they'll be sold and some less lambs to look after. But anyways, well deserved. This should go for 220. Absolute whoppers. It's interesting seeing the trade there at the market. I went in to watch some ewes. I've got some footage of that to post. But when I dropped off, there was hardly any people dropping stuff off. I mean, there was people there, but I didn't queue. There was empty bays. The lambs went straight in. Compare that to my last video where we had to sit in a queue for 20 minutes and the lambs went into a bay, but they sat there for another 20 minutes. So yeah, numbers wise, you got thousands of lambs down compared to a month ago. So I'm slightly, that whole process slightly alarms me, because is there some information that other folk have that I don't? How are they getting that? It's probably just they've got people that are selling lambs more regularly than I do, and they all talk. So last week the trade might have been down, they're all talking to each other, and because I'm only selling once a month really at this point in time, I'm out of touch with the loop. I don't know. Frustrating. If I was selling at St Boswell's, a more local market, then of course I could nip in there. It's only a 10-minute drive. So I could have nipped in there last week and see what the trade is doing, and then I had brought lambs this week if it was good, or chose to wait. So it's really difficult, and that can make a price of 10, 20, 30 quid, per lamb. So 17 lambs in today, that could cost me, 300 up to, 600 quid really. Just for knowing when the trade is up and when the trade is down. Delve into this. So this is how they split them. Split them into a few batches of ones, a batch of 2 and a batch of 12. So the 12 easy cares have all gone together as one nice even pen. You've got at the top there, you've got 2 batches of single Texel cross lambs, and that's because they're different weights.
one 51 kilogram, one 41, so quite varying weights. You've got 2 Texel hogs that are light there, 34 kilograms, and 1 blackie that is 34 as well. So, you know, they've split them out. They do that because they know they're worth more money when they're heavier. So ideally, they do that to give you the best price, is pull out the heaviest 1 or 2 lambs, sell them on their own, and get the best price. Now, that's not happened in this sense because I've got £134 for that 51 kilogram lamb. I mean, it's worth pulling out because I still have got a bit more money on it. You know, if they'd stuck it together with a 41 kilogram lamb below it that sold for 120, then maybe I would have only got, you know, I don't know, an average of 125 for them both. I don't know, or it might not have affected the price at all. But I've only got another 14 quid for that 10 kilograms. And, you know, 14 divided by 10, £1.40 a kilogram. It's not worth it. It's not worth keeping a lamb for another 6 weeks just to earn £1.40 a kilogram. I would say when you're feeding a cake, that's a loss. So underneath you've got these Easy Cares, which is sold for a fantastic price. So you can see the trade there for light lambs is still good. And the trade for store, interestingly, is still up. It's still a good amount. People are getting good prices. It just seems to be heavy lambs that this is affecting, and cull ewes. And then my lighter Texel crosses there, I've got a very good price. Happy with that, 105 each. That's excellent for a 34 kilogram lamb. And the blackie, you know, that could have been a lot worse. You know, but 88 quid for that blackie. You know, to see it gone is great. It got struck really badly in the summer, and it got a spinal abscess, so it's had a lot of work put into it. So it's just to get 88 quid back and cover the costs rather than a dead lamb is really good news in this circumstance. So gross 2,040 and after costs 1920. So you know you got 80 quid there in costs, which is no, not quite. Yes, 80 quid in costs. You know, which is you know, it's quite a lot really.
Let's see how she does shedding this. So ideally, I'd stand in this corner and she'd put pressure on the right hand side and she'd just run in here. Just the gentle pressure here. She'd just run in. There you go, once you get them started. I could run them through this bit, but the gates are all wonky. Practice for the dog anyways. Actually, she's slowly learning what we're actually doing. Seeing them all in this bigger pen, I don't think I am halfway through. I could be a third of the way through, I think. Clear that they were going to go straight out to the hill and just be off and be away with me. So yeah, the healthy ones, the ones that are fit, just ramp out, you know, just ramp away and they're gone. So I basically had to give up on staying behind the sheep and just cut in front of them. Worked okay. She did her job. Did a good job. Didn't you, Gigi? You did a good job, didn't you? There you go, one dog, 500 sheep. Can be done. And a bad dog at that. I make no claims to have a good sheepdog. Definitely a bad sheepdog rather than a good sheepdog. But a bad sheepdog is better than no sheepdog. You quickly learn that. The times when I've gone out to do sheep work without it, I've been kicking myself. So yeah, you quickly learn that having a bad sheepdog is 10 times quicker than having no sheepdog. And she's slowly getting better. Slowly. She couldn't have done that a year ago, so you know, there's something to be said for that.